Ooh.
All right. What's up, everybody? It is me, Sean K of HeliDirect. I have with you this very special treat we have today. We have Archie and we have Hack. A lot of you guys probably know
What up?
they're saying salutations, what up, all that stuff. Archie is laying a little bit low. He had a hangover last night. He's been drinking, has been on a drinking binge. He has not. I'm just joking. But I just wanted to make this introduction to the world. Archie, he has a name behind him, a logo, and it is called SystemX. You're like, what is SystemX? Well, SystemX is all of us. It's the brains behind all of this are, of course, Archie and Hack. Do one of you want to explain what SystemX is to the world?
Well, I don't know. Let's stop for a second. Let's talk about us. Let's talk about me and Archie. You know, the bromance, how it all started, how SystemX came to come about.
Yes.
Do you want to start, Arch, or I start? I don't know. I mean, I could put photos, I could put the vacations, I could put all that stuff, man.
Let's do this like we do everything else as a team. But I'll start out. I started on this adventure learning RadioMaster. You know, looking through the content. Sean and I were at an event together, Heli Extravaganza. You know, a lot of people were interested in RortorFlight, and but having difficulties with it. So at that event, helping people, Sean and I were talking. We were looking for ways that we could help someone get into this system and get going. And Sean, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, so Archie goes, hey man, what if the customer, the end user, got the radio with all the 19,000 things you have to learn? And let me just say this. If anyone is out there telling you that to get started in the RadioMaster, Nexus, RortorFlight world is easy, even for seasoned guys like myself and a few other pilots that are on the team, it is a lot to navigate because, and also with it being a lot to navigate, there are so many different ways to get to the end result. So with all that said, Archie says to me, well, what if we were able to get the transmitter and the flybar ready, basically, so all they have to do is do their basic setup, set their pitches, you know, servo direction, stuff like that. And that was the idea. A bulb went off with both of us at that time. And it was kind of like, hey, how do we make this happen? Because we want to make it easier for the end user to be able to enjoy it. Because if you really get your hands on a system that is properly tuned, and I stress that, properly tuned, you can get RortorFlight flying. It will go the right way. It will keep the helicopter in the air. But when it is properly tuned, there is no other flybar system out there on the market right now that is competing with the feel and the performance level of this system. So, you know, I tapped into Archie's brain here, and we started to kind of walk this thing out. And he was kind of on his own because I'm going to admit something. I'm not the guy who's going to go and dive into all the software and know where this is and that is. That's just not my wheelhouse. I'm better at other things, but I felt like, I'm like, hey, you need someone you can test stuff with, and I know just the guy. He's very, very astute. He's very kind. He helps everybody. And he's the man. When you go to, you know, some fields have the guy where it's like, oh, if you need something, if you need to tune an engine, go to this guy. If you need, you know, learn a maneuver, go to this guy. He was the guy that had the impeccable setup on all his helicopters. Nothing, there was no, you know, stuff flying off. There was no this chattering, that wasn't right. It's always pristine. So Herman, aka Hack, was on the team. I said, you need to meet Archie. And then they got together, and then it was instant love. There's a slow motion running through flowers and angels singing. Go ahead, Hack. You can take it from there.
I mean, it sounds like over the top, but it's really how it played out. It was like, did we just become best friends? Yes, we fucking did.
Yes.
So,
We
Yeah,
talk like
that's
20 times a day, every day. So
I mean, there's days, it's literally like day after day where it's just a conversation that lasts an hour was probably a short conversation. I mean, this is aside from the other, 23 hours in the day that we're out testing stuff, that we're out checking, black box logs. Like me and Archie have aligned in our thinking in when it comes to being relentless, not giving up. We it's like at the same time in two different places, me and Archie went down the path of testing RortorFlight, of trying RortorFlight, of embarking on that journey where there was limited information. It was, test this, test that. What does this do? What does that do? And about maybe 3-4 weeks in on our individual path, we met each other, and our ideas were like right there, like, and we just like mesh well together. And we've taken that to the next step. Like we were working on this, working for our own helicopters, and then we further entertained the idea of how about we bridge the gap that is missing between the RortorFlight developers and the end user. This is a very time consuming matter. Contrary to popular belief, it takes a very long time. Anybody that says otherwise either had help from people in the industry or people that were experienced with the software and hardware. But if you do this on your own and you learn everything truly, I mean, the radio alone is, if you've never used a TX16, if you've never used, Edge TX or Ethos for that matter, it takes a long time to kind of fill in the blanks, see what does what. And the hours, I'm not even going to put a time on it. I'm just going to say that it's extremely time consuming. And that's just the radio aspect. Then it comes the protocol, which what's commonly accepted in this mix is ELRS. You could use a variety of different protocols, but ELRS is the one that was, I guess, the trophy, right? That was the one that everybody used, that everybody mentioned. Even the RortorFlight guys, they have descriptions of settings that they recommend for you to tie into that. But learning how to implement it into, let's say, an FR Sky radio, if you wanted to go that route, is a little time consuming in itself. If you wanted to do it with Edge TX, there's a lot of little things that you want to learn, lingo that you want to learn, like bind phrases, how to bind. The firmware has to match the firmware on the receiver. And then moving forward to learning the firmware that goes on the Flybarless unit, which in this case could be the Nexus. It could be the RortorFlight one. I'm sorry, the Fly Dragon. And there's no disadvantages or advantages to either. It's all preference. Performance is the same, at least for the average or even the extreme of pilots. But all these things, you have to learn it truly to get a grasp of what it is you're doing. And then when you're done with that and you have that finally tuned or have that finally secure, you move on to the tuning aspect, which is world number 2. And every which way, I mean, me and Archie were like rubbing shoulders, we were looking at things objectively. None of us looked at things with our way is the best way. We actually simultaneously were doing individual tuning aspects. And then as we started going and consuming more and more black boxes, we just basically aligned. And our tuning is pretty much identical. I can wholeheartedly say that if I fly a helicopter that Archie himself tuned without any, opinion from me, I know that it's going to fly just like mine. That's how much we align over time.
And that took time, Herman.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times we went back into the Flybarless and wiped all the tuning out and started over. And that's the same thing is you touched on those different systems. You have to learn whether it's Edge TX or Ethos. So that's one learning aspect. You have to learn ELRS. You have to learn the setup within the Flybarless just to get the servos to move.
Yeah.
Then you embark on the tuning aspect. So I mean, Herman, it takes some time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And people would ask me, do you like it? I go, I love it. Would I recommend it? It's hard to say at this moment in time whether or not I can just recommend something wholeheartedly to someone else and then telling them, oh, but you got to learn this, you got to learn that, you got to learn this. And then people like they want to use my settings because they see my helicopters flying the best they've ever flown. And I've flown pretty much every system out there. I've been flying helicopters since, almost 20 years. I mean, all of us here have been flying helicopters for 20 years. We got 60 years of experience combined in a little room, and we just get together to talk shop. And the one thing that we all have in common at this particular moment is that we agree that RortorFlight is and does feel better than anything we've flown in the past when it's properly done.
Right.
And the community needs this right now, this moment in time. I mean, we're coming off a time where helicopters died off. Helicopters, to get them in the air the way that you were used to, is expensive.
Right.
And this is kind of like a different route to get to the same place, if not a better place. And what you're saving in RortorFlight, it can easily be associated with what you save, you spend in labor. What you spend on a V-bar or some other system, to not throw any crazy names out there. I say V-bar because everybody knows that word, right? So, that's what we're trying to bridge that gap. We want RF to be the letters that everybody remembers. And we want SystemX to be the new user experience, to provide an ease of use for that end user, that guy that doesn't want to go ahead and learn what we've learned. Because in reality, the things that we've learned, you only have to implement one time in probably one of the most time-consuming aspects of the setup. But if we implement that, if we provide support to the community, if we provide a community where people can join on in and they have us, our support or support of those that we have working close to us, we can all help each other. We can provide an experience that's never been provided in the industry before.
Yeah, let me jump in real quick. I just want to add this to the person listening that has maybe gotten a transmitter or is thinking about getting a transmitter. What SystemX community is a community like he's saying. Now, if you look at RortorFlight and you talk to the actual RortorFlight team, we had a meeting with the RortorFlight team, and this was actually the first time the whole RortorFlight team had been on a actual Zoom call together and saw each other's faces with outsiders, meaning with SystemX community. They will tell you there's not many people on the planet Earth that know this system the way they do and know how to tune to the point where it can be accessible data that is given back to them to help them shape the actual road and what is to be added, what is to be taken away from RortorFlight. Now, there's a few people now, and you guys know each other, Herman, Heck, and there's maybe 2 or 3 maybe on the planet that know this system to that level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, because I'm saying I could take your setup right now. You could copy everything over to my transmitter, my flybar, and I can go, hey, I set this up in 7 hours or 5 hours or 3 hours or 2 hours, and go, yeah, okay, it works great. But to copy something and know how it works and know how to navigate and know where to go to do these certain things, there's not many people. And when I say setup, that's one level. Like you said, the whole second world is the tuning aspect. Once my helicopter was tuned by SystemX, for me, there was no turning back. I never said, oh, I miss V-bar at all from the feel aspect of it. You feel more connected. It's more responsive, but it's crispy. It feels, it flows. And it's really hard to put. It's like when I went from 1520 to 760 pulse on my servos, flying my Futaba, and I could totally feel the difference. But now it's like 760 to something else. Like it's like a whole nother galaxy of connectivity. And even with I'm flying right now, there's more updates coming that's gonna make it even fly make it fly even better, which I can't even imagine. But you said the same thing, Hack. You said the same thing, Archie. It was kind of like, how can this get better? Well, it can get better. And the cool thing about it is, RortorFlight is in the position. The developers of RortorFlight are in the position of listening to people that are giving back data, hardcore flights. They've put in over 3,000 flights on this system to try to hone it down to where, okay, when a guy gets it, he can go ahead and get it done quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty much me and Archie right now, the way that we have it.
Yeah.
Like we could build a helicopter, you know, set it up and literally have settings on the gyro that will fly perfect from the
Yeah.
first flight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it can be that, but to get to that point, it takes a while, and that's what we wanna simplify for a lot of folk.
All right. So Archie, couple questions here. Will you guys be releasing? Well, I got some questions here, so I'm gonna go down the list. How does someone get the files? First of all, what files do you mean when you say we are giving files to who? What are they? Talk about that.
Absolutely. So what we are doing, and we've posted them on Dropbox, we'll provide the link, but we have the SD card contents for the TX16 radio that we're releasing at this time. And these can be downloaded free of charge. Put these on your SD card in the radio, and it contains updates that we've made to Edge TX. It has sound files. It has that RortorFlight armed. It has the model, and this model outputs. And this is what's important, Sean. When we've went through and built this, we've not just said, hey, let's go and do this. We've aligned this to what's on the RortorFlight website. So we have the adjustments ready to go. You go to the RortorFlight website and you look at the values and the recommendations. That's exactly what you're getting in this model.
Yes.
But we have went through and we've made this as simple as we can, this model for someone to use. Like the last rewrite was if you put a sound file on the switch and you use that for motor on and motor off, if someone wants to change that switch, you know, because we did this on your radio, you had to go to a couple places. We fixed that. Now you only have to go to inputs if you want to customize it. So those kind of things are what we've built into this. It's those little details. Like we have a screen when you're flying. So when you arm the helicopter, you have a summary screen of the telemetry that's up. We've preloaded the Lua scripts on it. We've put the widgets already on it. So you literally, this is what I'm flying on my radio. So you download this, you load the contents in that same Dropbox location. We've also got a file, so read that first. And that's what we're putting out with the radio, is we're putting the whole setup.
I love it. So there's no
there. We have some quick instructions or some things that you need to check, and you're going to have to check your ELRS module. You're going to flash a few firmwares, but you've got everything you need for the radio in one place.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so what hardware is needed for files, and how do you get the full benefits of the performance?
All right. So the hardware that you need for the files at this moment for the files that we're releasing is simply going to be a TX16. Now, you either got to have ELRS built in to the radio, or you can use the one that uses as an external module. We're trying to work with ELRS at the moment, but that's really what you would need. And this is basically all the files you need to be able to connect to a Flydragon or a Nexus with the RP3H ELRS receiver.
Okay, good. Real quick, this is for both of you guys. Is there a community group specifically for what you guys have made?
Yes, the community group is SystemX Community, aka Sexy.
Sexy. I love this. I love this. I'm all about the sexiness. Thank you, Hag. Thank you. All right. Will there be any how-to videos on basic setup and configurations?
Yes, we're looking to provide all the videos to make this process easier for everyone that's looking to jump over to the SystemX integration.
Okay. I know you guys feverishly do a lot of testing on a lot of different models. I mean, everything that we sell, from the Tron Advanced to the Gemini to the RS5, RS7, both Steam 700s, 420s, like you name it, Il Goblins, raw and pro versions. I'm sure you guys have done some testing on one specific helicopter that you want to I guess, help the community with?
Yeah, to be fair, we've done testing on pretty much all models, as you've said. We have just an extensive amount of files and logging for everything and working settings, perfect working settings. But right now, our thoughts were to offer the settings for the AK420. So basically, we're going to provide the entire file for that heli with, I mean, there are some hardware recommendations, but they're not limited to that. They should work well on pretty much any AK420, especially an out-the-box kit.
Right. So what he's saying, in other words, just whoever's listening, if you buy or when you buy the 420 from HeliDirect, we have recommended servos, motors, ESC, stuff like that. It comes with blades. All you're gonna need is the TX16 Nexus RH3, or is it what's
RPH3?
RPH3 receiver, and you're good to go. You upload the files onto your transmitter, down to your Nexus, set your direction, however you want to do it. Look at Archie has his 420.
You know, it's there. It's ready to go.
It's ready to go.
And he's not alone. He's not alone. I don't know how to get it to blend into this video, but it's right here, buddy.
Yeah. I have one as well, too. So,
Sean, let's talk about why we chose it.
Yes.
It's a great flying helicopter. It's an excellent price point. We're trying to help the community out. This is a low-cost option that is an excellent helicopter, and it flies excellent. You know, Herman and I and you yourself, we've flown this thing. We have settings on it. We have a Profile 1, and that is set up for sport flying. It's a mild setup. Rescue is enabled and tuned. It flies sport very well, and then you can flip that switch up and it'll go.
Yes. Herman just had some great flights with his 420 at what was it, 3,200 head speed you had on it?
I mean, as little head speed as I could feel that was stable, which actually Archie did a great job on selecting 2,400 as he nailed it. That was a good sport flying RPM. I did notice that, and it's very easy to, because they did a good job on this design of the helicopter. It's very easy to feel that head speed is enough to toss it around. But man, that helicopter gets wild at 3,000.
Okay.
Wild.
Okay. So what is the max head speed you would run on the 420?
We actually did some numbers recently, and we discussed it. Archie and me kind of agree that 85% is like the maximum amount of throttle that we'll run on any given setup, just to give some leeway room for the voltage and the governor. But 3,200 will probably be our max recommendation. And what I've tested, and it's ridiculous. Honestly, anything beyond 3,000, you're kind of like, you start thinking that maybe you're just smoking the tires a bit, not moving.
Gotcha. Okay.
Our preset is set at 3,000, Sean.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that with the X-Nova 3220 puts it at, when the pack is full charged, it puts it at like 82% throttle at 3,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's, I mean, to those that are listening, like, we're not throwing things around loosely. I mean, this video is but a letter to summarize the lifetime, what feels like a lifetime of work that we've spent working on tuning RortorFlight and getting it to, getting it to where we have our tuning set up right now. And what we're including with the AK420, I mean, is going to be a phenomenal experience for those that are going to go down that route, maybe to get a feel of RortorFlight as an intro. And we did that also to further aid those thoughts and worries of, oh, I don't want to go ahead and get that, that common misconception of an $80 gyro is not worthy to be on my $3,000 helicopter. It's not really something that, and a lot of us do think it. I mean, how many times have you avoided a product because it just, you're not looking at the details. You're just simply looking at the price, and you're like, hold on, in this same lineup, there's an $80 gyro, a $150 gyro, and a $300 gyro. As a consumer, or in this world of consumerism, you kind of just sway to the $300 one, and you're like, you know what? I don't know about this, but I'm going to spend the $300 because I think this has got to be better. So This is actually quite the opposite. And the only thing that's missing was us to be able to make that process easier for you.
Yeah, and I do want to reiterate this too, to the end user, the guy who's just kind of getting into this or has a lot of questions or not really sure how to do the setup or heard from a friend it's impossible to get going. We are in complete communication and with RortorFlight, the developers who started this out from the very beginning. We have their blessing. They have said that Archie and Hack know their stuff, and they do know their stuff. And we're in talks with them with helping them develop the software and to make it easier for you guys. That is really their goal, our goal as well. And until we get to a place where it's completely like no guesswork at all, SystemX will be here and even beyond. We've got visions here for SystemX to kind of infiltrate all the disciplines of the hobby. So these two guys are one of the elites when it comes to knowing this software, programming this software. Like, may I use the word program loosely, but architecturally making things sound for people to be able to try this system on and be successful with minimal work.
Exactly.
The term that we like to use is integrate. We're helping to integrate.
Yeah. And it's going to make, if we show people what a helicopter is supposed to fly like, perfectly tuned, that's going to set a standard moving forward with their experience with any system, with any helicopter that they own. In fact, if they were to venture out and get RortorFlight, another unit, let's say, that's for a different helicopter aside from the AK-420, maybe if we were to release an extra PID file or two for different helis. But if they wanted to venture out and do it on their own, they have a benchmark. They can be like, damn, my helicopter's got to fly like that, and we can help guide someone in their tuning, venture, in their what their learning curve. That's also a big thing. But guys, real quick, because I know we touched the subject on RortorFlight, guys, and the talks that we've had with them, but I'm gonna go ahead and highlight Dr. Rudder and his team. Dr. Rudder is Petri. He's the guy that runs the whole RortorFlight project. And we had a nice talk with him the other day. And he said something that truly inspired me, which was, I didn't even think about it. I had a total misunderstanding of how that works and what all the hard work that they're putting in. But he said something that echoed with me, and I'm sure it echoed with everybody that was listening, Sean and Archie. He said that the reason for his work and countless hours that he's put into RortorFlight was because he wanted to return the community and the hobby to what it once was. He has felt that the hobby's gotten really expensive, and it has, I guess, weakened the interest of people that are newcomers, and people that were in the hobby simply cannot afford it anymore. There's a lot of elite brands in the hobby that provide a well-known experience for the user, but at a cost. And that was what has driven him to keep pushing, to put in the countless hours, to make this experience as easy as possible. And mind you, this takes time. The amount of work that he's put in such a short period of time, the leaps and bounds that have happened in that short period of time, nothing short of remarkable. And that's one of the reasons why, we wanted to offer this out to the public. We wanted to bring this to the community for free in hopes that you guys can appreciate their hard work. And we hope that the community, if they truly enjoy it, and we want you to visit rotorflight.org to offer a donation to them, to the team. I think that those guys, they really have done something remarkable with this project.
Yeah, I want to jump in too, because I know you're speaking highly of RortorFlight and the team, which is well deserved, and I get it, and I agree with you 1,000%. But I think we can't really mention them and not mention you two guys. I'm just being honest, because, and this is me speaking to whoever's listening. These guys, they eat it, they sleep it, they drink it, they sweat it, they bleed it. Archie has sometimes been up before the sun has risen to do flights and testing. They're continually talking about this all day, all night. Now, this is this is not guys who don't have anything going on in their life. I mean, they've got other jobs careers, kids, pets, other things going on, and they seem to find the time to test, to compare notes, to call people. And here's the thing, this is when you know something is of good energy, when it brings people together. Because you have FR Sky, you have RadioMaster, you have RortorFlight, you've got HeliDirect, you've got this guy over here, you got that guy over here, you got this guy over in Asia, this guy in the UK, and it's bringing all these people together to make it easier and make it fun for all of us. We're not here trying to hoard and take and take away and break people up. We want to bring people. This is why I've seen Archie do it. We went to HeliX. I swear we were there for like 3-4 days. He got maybe 2 flights in, man. It's like he was doing clinics in the tent, people coming over, plugging up, setting up, doing this, PID, this, IF gains and all that stuff. And I just want to say thank you to you guys because, I mean, really, like I said, you're like 2 of maybe even 3 or 4 on the planet Earth that knows this system to the depth of what you guys do. And then, so I'm going to go ahead and applaud you. You don't have to clap, but we're all clapping right now.
Thank you,
over
man.
the world.
So
thank
I'm
you.
sure I'm sure that we appreciate that, but it's so true what you said about bringing the community together. That's really, I mean, and it's a passion for us, man. We love it. Me and Archie will wake up. I'll have one eye open. I'll have a message from him saying that he's already tested something. Like my drive homes from the field are usually like an hour and a half conversations of pretty much everything that I tested at the field. Yeah, we don't really write notes. We have like God-given talent to remember everything.
No,
I mean, I don't
that's
know.
just
I don't
you,
know.
bro. That's just you.
It's not me. It's not me.
Oh, man.
Archie takes notes. You don't take notes.
I do have a photographic memory, man, but Archie has always been like super sharp whenever I talk to him. I never have a moment where he's in doubt of something that we brought up, a couple weeks ago. So he might not have maybe a photographic memory, but that doesn't matter. He has a goddamn good one,
Yeah. So I just want to put this out here. We've already talked about it. We're going to talk about it again really quickly because I want to wrap this up. Archie's got stuff to do. Hacker's got stuff to do. But what SystemX is doing, the SystemX community is offering right now is the files for the TX16. That's the ELRS module radio, because this won't work on the other one, right? That's the other model.
It will work on many radios, but right now we feel that the community has more guidance with ELRS than it does with any other module.
Yes.
Okay. So what we encourage is we're going to provide some links. We want you to, tap into our, it's a Discord, right? Right, Archie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yes.
Get on the Discord. Let's start talking. We're going to offer the 420 Steam. And right now, I think it's still on sale for like $211. You can't beat that. Or right around $250. But go ahead, grab that. I'm going to bring one new in the box down to Orlando. Please come to the Orlando Fun Fly, the winter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All of us are going to be there. So make sure you come down at the HeliDirect booth. If you have any questions, I can answer some as much as I can, but I'm definitely not these 2 guys here. But we'll be there. We'll give you the links to join the Discord, get the files. So when you get your Steam 420, you pop the stuff in, update, do your firmware, your whole spiel, and you'll be up and flying in no time. We'll save you months of work. And that's what they hadn't told you. This is not just weeks of stuff. This is months. This has been, they've been studying this beginning of the summer, springtime.
I mean, I took 3 months studying it before I felt comfortable enough to get a helicopter. Obviously I did it with a 700, but I took months to be able to learn it, to truly understand, to get a grasp of it before I felt comfortable enough to start. I mean, to say that we're taking that time and providing it to you in a little SD card so that you can get started with the TX16, I mean, that's a huge advantage, And
this is like revision 20 on this model.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we didn't highlight some of the files, but I guess one word that was missing that we're including in there is kind of like the telemetry screens. We never even mentioned that. And that's a big thing for people that use this radio. So yeah, there's going to be some nice telemetry features already included in the files, and that everybody will find easy to use.
I love it. Archie, is there anything you want to add on or anything you want to say?
No, come out to the Winter Bash. Support Steve Shaw putting that event on. Looking forward
Yeah.
to being there. Love to
Yes.
talk to you. Load this stuff up. If you have questions for us, hit us up there. This is we're really excited to be able to offer this to the community.
I love it. I love it.
Super excited.
So you've heard it from us. We are SystemX community. We're here to help. So we'll see you down in Orlando. Archie's, Hack, is there anything else you want to add to it, maybe?
No, I think just to touch up on something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when the video is going to release, but Discord will be ready if it's not ready when this video is released. We'll have everything organized. But it's just kind of like we're trying to evolve as we go. And but it should be good. We should be there ready to support the whole community, me and Archie, and we might have even some micro SD cards at the field with us that we can give away.
Yeah. I'm going to invest in some SD cards for some of you guys. I don't know if we'll have enough time to load them up, but definitely I at least want to have 10 or 12. So you can just come on by the booth and then, first come, first serve, obviously. So make sure you show up. Hopefully you've pre-registered. This is always a great event. The weather is amazing. Steve Shaw is amazing. Everyone who attends. And this is quickly becoming back to what it was a little while ago when it was like 1 million people there. So if you're not too familiar with it, I think it's torches.org. You might want to go to get more information. Yeah, so we love you guys and girls. Archie, do you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say, if you bring your TX16 with you, just charge it up and back up your contents at home and bring it with you, and we'll help you load it right there at the field.
Awesome. I love it. So like I said, we love you guys, girls out there. We hope to see you in Orlando. We're going to be there, and happy flying. That was good, guys. Thank you. So how do okay, stop recording. Boom.